All right, this example is going to be pretty similar to what we just did with the down payments example, but I just want us to see one more of these just to make sure we've got it. So we're going to look at the nutrition of Flamin' Hot Chipotle Ranch Cheetos, because I'm pretty sure they're really good for you. And we've got 11 grams of total fat, which is 14% of what you need in a day. So we're well on our way with only one bag. And we just want to figure out how much fat we're supposed to be limiting ourselves to in a day if this 11 grams is 14% of that maximum amount of fat. So this is another similar thing to what we did before, where I'm not looking for 14% of the 11 grams. That 11 grams is 14% of that maximum we're supposed to be, keeping below, right? So, in other words, 14% of the maximum fat is 11 grams. 14% of maximum fat is 11 grams. Again, I'm just going to call that maximum fat X, just so I don't have to write that whole thing out all the time. And we're just saying 14% of X is 11. Okay, well, 14% of X, how do I calculate that? 14 over 100. And then of, just think of as times, X is 11. So again, just because I don't like dealing with, right, if I divided both sides by 14 over 100, I'd have 11 over 14 over 100, which can be confusing. So I'm just going to write this as a decimal first. So 14 over 100 is 0.14 times X equals 11. And then to solve for X, I just need to divide both sides by 0.14. And I get what my X is at the end, right? Because these 0.14s cancel out to where I only have an X. And over here I have 11 divided by 0.14, which gets me 78.57. And that'll be in grams. And that'll be our answer for this. Now, for those of you that have taken a nutrition class or something like that, I'm pretty sure this is maybe 80 grams or something, and these were just rounded, right? Like this 14% that we'd see here would be a rounded number. And that's why it doesn't look like a nice round number to us, is that it was already rounded before. Okay, but anyway, that's how I calculate something like that. Let's just quickly do the follow-up question here. So suppose they're actually limiting it to 65 grams per day. In other words, they're lowering it now to be a smaller amount of fat per day. Okay. Well, in that case, how much is that 11 grams of fat as a percentage? Okay, well, we're at 11 grams out of the maximum of 65 grams. Right? Those units cancel out. Remember, percentages don't have units on them, so good. I'm glad they cancel out. And this will get us 11 over 65, which is 0.1692. I don't want to skip a step here. And then if I write that as a percentage, remember we just move that decimal place over 2 places, and that'll get me 16.92%. So I think that pretty much sets us up with any of the type of examples that we would need for this section. And just try to, of course, the word problems are word problems that can feel like they're different all the time, but we're always going to be setting them up in something like this. So I would say be very mindful as you're going through these kind of questions of thinking, okay, am I finding a percentage of a certain number, or is that percentage already known? Because if it is, I need to set it up and just solve some fairly straightforward algebra here. Or if it's just finding a percentage of a number, it's just all done in one calculation, no need to solve for anything in algebra.